This is Janine White's weekly summary for weeks 10 and 11 for Physics 111. First of all, what I did was I completed the Chapter 16, including the homework, and Chapter 17 fan cart program analysis. It was a little bit of a challenge because it took a little bit of wrangling to figure out how to get the movies into the program, the tracker program, so that they could be analyzed. But eventually figured that out, and I was able to do it. And my notes in that are available in my weekly notes, which will be posted on Google Drive as usual. I provided a lot of feedback for questions that people had on programs, and then also I noticed when people had questions on why they couldn't access the article from Scientific American this week on the educational value of creative disobedience. I found it using the Wayback Machine, which is always useful for stuff that seems to have disappeared since it's no longer on Scientific American. I found it there. And so then I annotated all of the programs that were requested and all of the comments and submitted them, and I also did the cultural science submission. That was quite an undertaking, but I think I did a good job in writing it up. I enjoyed it. I watched the Dawkins and Krauss video, Something from Nothing. And then I also watched a rebuttal video by William Lane Craig, who went point by point on a video lecture of Krauss's for talking about his book, A Universe from Nothing. And so I listened to that as an alternative and gave my ideas about that at the end. Then I haven't participated in as many of the controversial debates as I would have liked, but I did add four pro and con arguments this week. That is, pro and con arguments to 4 different topics. I did global warming, vaccines, ETs, and nuclear energy in the last 2 weeks. So, and I've noticed that not that many people have posted arguments on the controversial debates. It was a little bit difficult to actually figure out what the arguments were that other people, it was hard to follow the instructions that you gave us because other people didn't follow them. We were supposed to have the subject be the argument that we're making and not and then not duplicate others' arguments. But since people didn't put the subject line and just kind of tended to put general arguments, it was hard to come up with a different argument. But I did try to do that. Tried to find arguments that were different than the ones that other people had already posted. And I don't know if you're planning to give us any more time because it looks like not a lot of people haven't participated significantly in the controversial debates. But so that would be helpful. But I do plan on commenting throughout in any case in the future. Then I found a neat resource this week, The Quantum Revolution. It's a documentary on the implications of quantum mechanics, and it included some information on 3D printing technology, which is pretty cool. I look forward to the time when we can have our 3D printers at home, just like we have our 2D printers. Although I think it'll probably be a while before the cost on that comes down to make that very common. Then I also did the discussion. The article that we read really reminded me of my own childhood, both with my father, who's a very intelligent man, and the kinds of discussions that I used to have with him, as well as my experiences throughout school that were challenging. I was really smart, but had certain um, difficulties as I went along, particularly with memorization. And so math, initially, uh, when we had to do the multiplication tables, I was put behind because I had trouble with that because it was rote memorization. But then from then on until I basically caught up, I was kind of a little bit of a troublemaker because um, almost everything is actually processed, can be put into a process type thought in math. And so I was able to pick up from then on, for the most part, and I tended to get things done very quickly and have lots of questions for the for the teachers that they didn't always like. Um, but although I've always loved math and science, it's kind of sometimes been a love-hate relationship when too much rote memorization was required. um, so the notes for this week will be available, as I said, on Google Drive. And I'm also looking forward to getting feedback on the cultural science requirement that I submitted. I actually sent that to my mom and dad. My dad liked the essay, so that was fun. And I'm looking forward to moving forward next week. Thank you very much.